Yes, I think it has been started. Just give the link. Can you please give the link?
Omkar, I think Mamta has joined.
Okay, Mamta, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sir, it has been live on YouTube. If you can please give the link so that we can forward it to the other group.
Yeah.
Okay. Just copy that link, always, and share it everywhere.
Right. I have posted it on the chat box.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Just
Yeah.
shortly we will start it. I will just share the link to each and every person
Right.
so that they can there will be no problem at all. And please just make me and I think IACSD the co-host.
Okay. Okay. Chat box.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Just short. Okay, sir. We are ready to go. Ma'am, ready? Every person, so that they can there will be no problem at all. Okay, everyone is requested to just mute yourself and see that the video is off. IACSD the co-host. Okay, okay. Just ma'am will be on taking over from now for the session. It is request to each and every person member to please mute yourself and look at it that your video is off as well.
Okay, we'll start now. I guess everyone has joined on the YouTube, right? So we'll
Yes.
start from here. Yeah. First of all, a very good evening to everyone. A warm welcome to all the retractors. I request all the host club president to color them virtually.
Good evening. The collaring of the president has been done virtually. Now I'll request president to call the meeting in order.
Meeting called to order. Over to you, retractor Siley.
I request to everyone to stand up for national anthem. जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंग विद्या हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाये तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे I request to everyone to please repeat four-way test after me. Of the things we think, say or do,
Of the things we think, we say or do,
is it the truth?
is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Is it
fair to all concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendship?
Will it be good and better friendship?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you.
Over to you, retractor Siley.
Mamta can
Hello.
take over
Yeah.
from here.
Yeah. Hello. Good evening, friends. It is said that even if you don't have the perfect idea to begin with, you can likely adapt. So once again, a very warm welcome to one and all present in this amazing session. We, the RCDYPMS, along with collaborating clubs, Rotary Club of Nigdi, RCDYPACS, RC Indira, RCRSCOE, RCDPU, RC Modern, Ganesh Khand, RC Electrical MCOE, RC Shaniwarwada have came up with a great entrepreneurial session which opens your idea to the entrepreneurship jaws. So, I Retractor Mamta, PDD of RCDYPMS, takes this opportunity to host today's event. I first would like to welcome our beloved speaker, Dr. Shilpa Kankonkar. Welcome, ma'am. Dr. Shilpa ma'am has over 17 years of corporate and academic experience in communications, branding, training, and marketing. Dr. Shilpa ma'am is a certified mentor for financial analysis, behavioral studies, life skills, entrepreneurship from national acclaimed bodies like National Entrepreneurship Network, Maharashtra Center for ED Development. Ma'am has been invited as a chief guest at various national and international conferences organized by ATSS and also by Rajgarh Institute of Management. Ma'am has also been invited as a speaker to conduct faculty development programs at various colleges and Oriental University. Ma'am has also been appointed for various Savitribai Phule Pune University exam-related duties like squad chairman and member, external senior, super senior, and pepper sitter from the year 2015. Ma'am has written a book on service marketing, edited book on micro insurance, cracking the rural India's huge insurance potential, and more than 5 monographs on the topics effective teaching, insurance, text and cases, financial services, academic excellence, interview skills. Ma'am has also conducted workshops in different areas of life insurance, management, service quality, deliverables, sales process, and channel management. Currently, ma'am is working on developing a model on market potential and customer satisfaction towards the HP Gas Agency through a research project from Pankaj HP Gas Agency, Ravit. So guys, you're interested in building a startup, but should you? Before working through how to start a startup, it's important to first consider why you want to build a startup. So here's an opportunity to hear directly from our beloved speaker about the toughest realities of startups, opportunities, and the ideas. Guys, there will be a link provided in the chat box after the CSD event. The time limit for the event is 30 minutes. E-certificate is also being provided after attending the quiz. So guys, please be attentive. All the best, guys. So on behalf of RCDYPMS, we would like to felicitate our beloved speaker, Dr. Shilpa Kankonkar.
Thank you so much, Surabhi. I guess it's Surabhi talking, right? Or Mamta?
Mamta ma'am.
Wow, I love the flowers. Thank you so much. It's all online now. It's nice to get one. Chalo.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, let's start because we've already
Yes,
We're
yes.
quite ahead of
Yeah.
time. Let's start.
You can share your screen, ma'am, right now.
Yes, so you're going to enable it right now. So I start off immediately.
Yes, just a second.
Yep. Can I start? I think you have enabled it.
No, ma'am, just a minute.
It's you cannot start.
Yes,
screen
yes.
space.
It has been started, ma'am.
It has been started. Fair enough. So I start off immediately. So this is 1 second. Can you guys see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay. Bingo. Let's start. Okay. Good evening, everybody. And it's a different experience, possibly at 8 o'clock in the evening, trying to figure out things. It took us almost 20 minutes to start off. Nevertheless, I think at the onset, let me take this opportunity to thank the entire team of RCDYPIMS and also the president, Mr. Bharat Chavan Patil, and the entire team who's been trying really hard to put me on board. I can see the, the work that these guys have been doing, and they're working very hard to get this started. So all the best, guys. I think you are on the right track, and startup is the scene right now. Entrepreneurship is the scene that we need to look at and we need to explore. So having said this, let me put it across. And before we jump in and get started, although, putting the context right and setting the landscape of the startups, especially in this COVID era, I think it's important to understand that what are we going to look at, So we, in the next maybe 40 minutes was what mentioned to me. Now, possibly we'll have to cut short a little because I had looked at a scene of 40-45 minutes. Nevertheless, we're going to ensure that the content remains. So setting the landscape straight, we're going to look at startups and what is it that we need to look at in terms of startups. We need to understand the entrepreneurial mindset. And we also need to, what I am going to really look at, what I thought, I have been in this space for quite some time, and I realized that there were a lot of things which were coming in from the students. And I did talk to a lot of students, and few inputs that I got was maybe during this time period of lockdown, and we all trying to contemplate at what is it that we want to do. Let us take this opportunity to work on few skill sets. Let us take this opportunity to understand what's happening across the globe. Let's take this opportunity to understand the changing landscape. Now, when I say that the landscape is changing, when I say that the pandemic is there, the first thing that comes to our mind is a lot of negativity which is there around it. So, but let's keep that aside. You just have to start the television, you get it. So we're not going to do that. We are here for an online session and a webinar where we need to understand that how is it that we can look at pandemic objectively. Why is it that pandemic has challenged the very nature of our existence, in the sense that till some time when we looked at entrepreneurship, and suddenly when we say entrepreneurship and we look at this pandemic, you're in a blur situation where like, oh my God, what is it that we're going to do? Oh my God. So I got a lot of feedback from students. So I have tried to touch upon making it more tactical, making it more relevant. And before I may possibly start is, I want to say that for the next 40 minutes, we'll look at how the skill sets you can work on, or possibly if you have one, what is it that we can take it forward. Let's look at the most important part of my presentation, where I want all the participants, why only students, where we had a lot of inquiries coming from people who wanted to be a part of the entire process. And they said, ma'am, is there a sector where we can look at which is going to be possibly post-COVID era, or maybe look at the COVID era right now, because this is not going anyways in the next 2-3 months. So can I look at this time and grab an opportunity? Because having said that there is an opportunity, you can create your own story. So maybe this session will help you try to create one, if not at least put a story across. So I'm going to tell you all maybe how you can look at creating your story and how you can turn this entire crisis into opportunity. I want, now this is a technological thing that we are saying right now. There is a glitch here. I don't see you, you don't see me, we hear each other. I can see a few videos, but to make it more better, we are switching off everything. But there is a very famous saying which says that the wisdom of the crowd is always needs to be acknowledged. The wisdom of the crowd always needs to be understood. So I would want you all to be participating in the chat box. I would want you all to possibly, let's make it interactive by pouring in comments. I will definitely look into the comments. If the time permits, we'll look at answering them. So I want you all to, start putting in comments in the chat box, so that just to take the hang of the situation, that we are going in the right direction. If there's anything that we would want to explore more, see, we have to put few things very straight. It's a very, very vast topic. It is a very vast topic in the sense that such topics require a lifetime to be understood, and everybody has a different story. However, it is important for the youth to understand that when we're looking at this story, we have to look at it very differently. So when we look at the story, we need to understand that, okay, it's COVID happening across, it's pandemic happening across. So is it something which is not going to be good to me, ma'am? Is it something where the things are so difficult, they look challenging? So it's a remote working space. It is, the environment is a little different. It is challenging. Objectively looking, yes, it is very different. Objectively looking, I definitely acknowledge that there is a lot of adversity around. So how is it that you pick and choose positivity around this? So if negativity is around, how is it that you pick and choose, positivity? The best thing that you can do is look at the great things that have happened because of situations like this, not just this year. Look at exactly minus 100 years from now. We are looking at a situation where, looking at 100 years from now, there were the same kind of economic downturns that happened across the India. And look at what the world looked at in terms of entrepreneurship. We had big conglomerates, we had big companies started off. I'm sure you heard words like General Electric, you heard words like General Motors, you must have heard Sam Walton talking, Sam Walton, Watson, who started Disney. And he, why he started that? He started that he said there's a lot of depression around. So I want to start something which will bring a little smile and let this smile make a difference to the people. See, you have to understand that every crowd has a lining. So if pandemic has helped certain companies cross valuations and valuations, you also need to look at the different side where, a great adversity has also brought and inspired a lot of things to a lot of people around. There was when I was trying to make this PowerPoint presentation, and I said, I don't want to talk something which you students already know or you participants already know. We are living in a knowledge economy. So knowledge is pouring in everywhere. There's so much of knowledge around. So I said, let me start off with a thought which says that every crowd has a silver lining. So if it was in 1965, if Einstein was not told to sit inside and forced to stay back home, the theory that we look out, where you talk about the law of gravity, wouldn't have really come. And he's sitting across in the balcony. He said, okay, why is the apple falling down only? Why is it not going anywhere else? Objectively looking at situations and creating a difference is what gets a mindset which is so different from others. And this mindset is very entrepreneurial in nature. So my presentation for the next couple of maybe 20, now looking at the changing times that we are starting, we're starting at 8:25 right now. So looking at this time frame, we need to understand, we're going to look at a few things where we'll possibly state a few examples. We'll state there was a very good input given by one of my very good students. She's also come on board, and she said, ma'am, can you tell me something what I can do possibly in the lockdown? So I said, this slide would be only for you. So I've tried to incorporate that as well. And let's understand the skill set. Let's understand that, COVID is not bad at all, because let me tell you, people have gotten richer because of COVID. Look at what Baiju has done. He started a new terminology. That's what they say, to be an Indian and starting a new terminology, especially in the glossary of startups, where we are looking at decacon right now, on hexacon right now. And I'm sure the students here would know when I say you were talking about unicorn. तो ऐसा क्या हुआ है जो कोविड पैंडेमिक में इतना जो इतनी नेगेटिविटी है आसपास, इतनी सारी चीजें जो अपने आसपास हो रही है, why can't we look at it with a very different perspective? And I will try helping you with that perspective. My endeavor here is to simply try to explore that perspective, which will help you, which will help the college, it will help the participants, it will help the society, and of course we are here to contribute as a nation. So it will help us all across. So if we are looking at maybe Microsoft in the year, somewhere in the 1970s, they say that there was a very big dip in the US economy. And that's when Bill Gates and Paul Allen came across with the thought that, okay, why not we start something which was very user-friendly for people to use when it came, because it was at a time when computers were very, very expensive. The systems or the operating systems on which the computers really worked were very expensive. And he said, people can't afford it. So can't I give them something which was very user friendly? And that's where Imagine, the Microsoft started. There's a very book, good book which is on the autobiography of Bill Gates, where he says that it took me 7 years to have a sound sleep because I was only creating algorithms to make it a cheaper version. So look at it. So having said that, Why go so back? I mean, why go to 1970s when we possibly were not born? Why don't we go at the latest thing, 2009, 2008? What happened? What happened? What made Uber and Airbnb some very top valuation companies making a difference? What happened in the year 2000 for Make My Trip, to come across a new complete methodology of delivering to the clients when they said that, okay, travel was a little expensive and travel agents were really making it very difficult and very expensive for me. So such great depressions, such great adversities create opportunities. And it's important to understand that strong people get through this. Strong people get through this. They attract positivity. They manifest it in their life. They envision it. And there they are trying to make a difference. Only difference possibly people with such mindset would have is that, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. So it's easier said and done. I may sound good when you want to hear this. You may like it when you want to hear this, but the situation right now is you need to look at it objectively, that how you can make it better for yourself. It is said in the year 2000, Netflix was about to be sold, and they were had debts at that particular time. They said that this medium is not really going to work. The entertainment medium is not really going to work. So they were almost in the dot-com phase. They were planning to close down, and look what happened. It is one of the most, I think it is when I'll further take example of Jeff Bezos in Amazon and Netflix. These are the guys who made us busy in the last couple of lockdown months, and a big amount of gratitude goes to these people to keep our mindsets and health issues in place. So it is important that we need to look at this entire COVID situation very objectively. We need to look at this situation in the sense that this 21st century has given us this opportunity where the human story is going to change. The people interacting socially are going to change. And of course, if they are going to change, the collaborative mechanisms are going to change. Co-creation mechanisms are going to change. And that's what happened in 2010. We are looking at gig economy. Everybody is saying shared economy, shared economy. ये shared economy क्या होता है, madam? I had a student who said, ma'am, इतने क्लासेस में हमने ये बात सुनी है, तो ये शेयर्ड इकोनॉमी क्या होता है? लोगों के पास पैसा, कैश क्रंच, ऑपरेटिंग कॉस्ट गोइंग रियली हाई, लोगों के पास डेट्स गोइंग वेरी हाई. सो सिचुएशन इतनी अच्छी नहीं है जितनी हम सोचते हैं कि वो अच्छी है. तो उसको हम कैसे करेंगे? हम को क्रिएट करेंगे, हम कोलैबोरेट करेंगे, हम इनफैक्ट इफ द टाइम परमिट्स we'll also look at very popular business models which entrepreneurs have or startups have adopted across the globe, a part of the gig economy, which is said as gig. What do you mean by a gig? Something which is very short-lived. Musicians, if there is any musicians, he can just raise his hand here. And we have got a very nice musician here, Dr. Ashutosh Misal sir, amazing voice and amazing co-creator itself. And he will agree to what I say. The short-lived expenses of coming together for a very short purpose for a project, which is very short-lived and it's very contractual. Exactly at that moment, at that time, you are using it contractually and in a very professional space. So this gig economy, shared economy, actually started in the year 2010, and a lot of things came up. And the most important thing came up is the startup culture. 2010, it gave the decade of innovation. Dr. Pratibha Tai Patil in her inauguration speech has said that 2010 to 2020 is going to be the decade of innovation. So when I say it's going to be the decade of innovation, possibly, it was she was hinting at the decade of startups. There was a startling facts and figures which came across. You will be surprised to know every year, Indians are starting 1,000 startups a year. I mean, 1,000 startups. Huh? Look at it. It is not a small figure. So what is basically a startup? मैम अभी तक तो हम एंटरप्रेन्योर ही समझ रहे थे. अभी आजकल हम सब स्टार्टअप की बात करते हैं. See, there is a very stark difference between startup and entrepreneur. Startup is a person who's clocking in for a particular a gap which is there, which is identified. There is an opportunity. He plugs in that gap. He creates a business opportunity. He encashes it and possibly moves it further, scales it up, and then over a period of time becomes an extremely big business house. Now, the definitions have changed because startups are little more technologically driven. definitions have changed because now those startups are entrepreneurial at heart. They are bridging a gap, and because they are bridging this gap, they are called as startup. In fact, there is lot of vocabulary which has got added to startups. Anywhere clocking in a business of you want when we started as a country, we were looking at 1 CR, and you will be surprised to know that 100 CR is now that we are looking at, which defines something to be a startup. So, and now there are other terminologies which have come into existence: minicons, sunicons, unicorns, decacon, and hectacons. So if time permits, I have incorporated that slide. We'll look at this. This is the evolving nature of the startup. So what does a startup possibly be? They are disruptive in nature. They are multidisciplinary in nature. They are, they are evolving at all point of time. And they are very technological driven. They are very high on fad. So when I say it's a fad, it's a management where it is very short-lived, possibly because there is an opportunity there. And if the right funding comes across, they are highly scalable. Look what Uber did. Look what Ola did to India. And look what Paytm happened. So disruptions are there. Even having said that, 2016 was a very disruptive and a very, there was demonetization, and everybody said, oh my God, what our business is going to do. And if there is a diktat which says that everything needs to go online and digital, so how are we going to do? And look what Paytm did. It disrupted the entire mechanisms, and such organizations actually, from possibly being nowhere, I wouldn't say nowhere, they were there doing some bits and pieces of business here and there. They suddenly become the top-notch company in the year 2015 and 16. They are a unicorn, clocking in a business of more than 1 billion. So you have to understand their quick growth. The proportion in which they increase their business is tenfold. Why? Because they realize that there is a market. They capitalize on that market and they bounce back. They are very resilient. They don't give up and they bounce back. They are young people, and there was a survey done, and you'll be very happy to know that a lot of people from your audience here comes into that bracket. So anywhere between 22 years to 30 years, and we have some. I can see some few. People also, but an average founder is said to be somewhere around till the age of 35-40. So I have always I've always had a feeling that it's got nothing to do with age, but this is what the statistics say. And I thought it's important for the young crowd to understand that, look, you are not alone. You are not alone who's going to be thinking about the problems of the world. But yes, your idea needs to be scalable. Your idea needs to have a technological, drive. It has to be, it needs to hit the nail, in the sense it needs to hit the masses at heart. So when the ideas which hit the society at large, I have always said this very, I have been very blatantly vocal in the fact saying that जो भी आपकी आइडिया हो ना, जो भी आइडिया हो, डिसरप्टिव हो, इमर्जिंग हो, मैडम ये बहुत अलग है, ये कुछ बहुत डिफरेंट करने वाला है, आपकी आइडिया को स्केलेबल तभी होगा जब सोसाइटी एट लार्ज को अपील करेगा. सिर्फ मेरे और तुम्हारे प्रॉब्लम की हम बात नहीं करेंगे यहाँ पे. The ideas have to have profiles which are very high on demand. So having said all of this, you need to understand that these are some very, very 0 to billion making tech companies, and they have disrupted completely. So if you are looking at Practo, which is in the, tech space of medicines, and if you're looking at the food space, if you're looking at e-commerce, you are looking at mobile advertising, which is in Mobo. In fact, they are the soon to be decacon. So Make My Trips, of course, they are a unicorn itself. Zomato being the latest entrant in the year 2008. Lenskart again. So when you look at all of these are making big money. They have created valuations, and they have created money to the society in such numbers that it is very unimaginable for starting up. I mean, acha itna bada ho gaya company. So that kind of a feeling is basically an aspect where during crisis, during that problem, these guys looked at a transformation. Whether it was a just dial, it was these three people who went to Madras and they realized that when they were trying to search something which was as simple as a hotel, and they wanted to source something for their company, and they had such a big problem there sourcing that small little thing. That was the thing that came across, and they said, okay, why don't we have something which will give us what we have in our particular location. So having said that, slowly and steadily it went across, and they identified markets, they identified products, they made an innovation, and some situations have also been a forced innovation. So I'll also share with you certain examples where the there has been a forced innovation, because it's always said that necessity is the mother of invention. Your idea needs to have a necessity as an appeal. So if an idea is there where, mobile car devices, which are medical in nature, so you look at Portia is doing this. I did a lot of research in few of these companies, of course, a part of my subject that I teach also. And I realized that these companies who are doing innumerable amazing work, which is so hands-on, which is so relatable, and which is so customized. So why do these companies make something which is so rule breaking? How do they come across something like this which is so rule breaking? Do they have a driving force which is something which is not there with others? So if I look at these 10 pointers, my students will say, मैम ये 10 भी तो है मेरे पास, तो फिर मुझे क्यों नहीं business idea आ रही है, फिर मैं entrepreneur क्यों नहीं बन रहा हूँ? Something, there are some things which you need to understand, which is beyond the college, beyond the education, beyond the I'm not undermining the work of educationist. I am an educationist academician myself, but you need to understand the driving force which is behind every entrepreneurial person or a self-employed person is a desire for greater control of his life. And that is the reason these people have a very clear vision. When I was reading a lot of material, not for this, but of course part of my curriculum, the subjects that I teach also, and over a period of time, I have been in this space, so there's done a lot of research on this. These are the set of people who have a desire for greater control of their life. When Jeff Bezos he was an investment banker. Okay, and he was looking at reports. It's a part of his job, and then he comes across this report in the year somewhere in the 90s. He comes across this report. It took him 5-6 years to actually flag off. He realized in that report that e-commerce is going to grow in the year 2000 and above 2300 times. Look at this report. Even he's being an investment banker, he gets a lot of reports. And like him, this report must have been available to so many people across. But there is this guy who was sitting in his garage and he said, is this what is going to happen? And you won't believe it. This chap comes up and he says that I want to cash on this. So when he said, I want to cash on this, he went to a lot of stores, and he he realized that that was a time when people wanted to read. But the problem with reading was that the availability was with a lot of constraints. Okay, and of course, not everybody would want to go and purchase a book, actually go make an effort. So he said, why not come up with something? And he starts the world's most valuable company, clocking in the business of more than certain billion dollars across. And it is this guy who's so agile, his decision making capacity and capability is so high, where they say that this chap, he had 3 people with him when he started Amazon, and he had a vision. You know what the vision was? The story goes like this: when he didn't know what he needs to keep the name of his company, he was just going through the dictionary, because he said, अरे समझ नहीं आ रहा है मुझे नाम क्या रखूं मैं. Just going through it जा रहा है, देख रहा है dictionary में, कुछ appeal नहीं कर रहा. And then he said, he came across the word Amazon. When he came across the word Amazon, he said, Amazon, what is Amazon? Oh, that's Amazon is you all know, it's a very famous rainforest. And I said, okay, how is it? It's serene, it's deep, it's different, it's exotic. That was the vision which he had. He worked on it and he said, this is how my company is going to be. My company will be very different. I will try to get into avenues which are so unexplored, because it is said that Amazon rainforest still has 18%, which is still unexplored. So the thought and the vision which he had, and that's when he said, okay, fair enough, that is what I'm going to do. And the flagship store and the flagship, his first offline store also he started on care. That's a different question. He got into a lot of other businesses, but that's where he started off. And he said, okay, from the garage, his journey started to being the first online bookstore. Imagine what must have come into it. He only had one thing. I want to have a certain percentage of share in the growth of the 2,300% growth story. I want to have only 1%. He started from 1%, but look where he reached, and you know what is it. And imagine and he said, I want to, and that's how he said, the everything store. It's as exotic, as different as possible. And you know what, how much he earns per second? This is not a joke. I'm saying, there's a joke that he earns $2,500 per second, but it's not a joke anymore. He started off with that joke. He said, I'm going to have, 2,000 rupees per second is what I'm going to earn. And this was a joke that he did amongst his friends. And look what happened. The universe manifested this, and he kept sticking to his vision. He had the passion to make a difference. He was very tolerant to the changing circumstances and the business environment. Extremely confident person, very agile, very adaptable, very involving, very hands-on, and very self-motivated. That's what his Amazon is right now. So you have to be that person. You have to have that vision, whether it is the Bansals for the Flipkart, whether it is Jeff Prasad for Amazon, whether it is, whether it's Ankit Bhatti or, So you have to understand, these guys have not just come up because they have created a decision-making ability for themselves. And one thing which I would want to have a submission here is that you need to look and upgrade your technological skills. I have been a very strong, I advocate this very strongly, and I've always said this very strongly, that when you are exploring and when you are, want to create something for yourself, you need to have a very strong decision making ability. Colleges में ये सिखाते हैं, हम आपको theory जरूर सिखाते हैं, हम आपको कराना भी सिखाते हैं, but after a point of time, you need to understand for yourself, and you need to get the wisdom to understand how do you arrive at a decision. How are you going to arrive? You arrive at a decision when you are aware, when you are informed, when you have the facts and figures, you have data, qualitative and quantitative work to work on. So on this premise, you built up that idea, you built up and you arrive at a decision that, look, I'm really thinking about this very strongly, and I feel that this idea is going to make a difference. That is the first most important thing which I thought, as decision-making skills, which I thought that's the reason I put in a small pointers here. And of course, technological skills. Now, having said this, let's I thought that we would have a very varied, a very different kind of an audience where we looking at this. I'll just spend 2 minutes on this, and before going to some very important insights which I would want to share. So this is the, the 12 pointers to building a startup. So this is a 12 pointers. So right from idea generation to tracking your metrics and making a difference. So this is what you're going to do. So your journey is going to be like this. And your journey from crafting your vision to creating your MVP, which we call it as a minimum viability product, to launching it, and then making a difference. You have to, it is at every stage. So of course, this slide itself is a session in itself without, but quickly taking you through the slide is simply that you need to look at this journey. You need to look at this race, starting from crafting your vision to making your first business canvas. You have to make it. You have to create it in your head and then bring it on paper, pen and paper. So when you create that map, you create that blueprint, you start looking at opportunities. You start looking around. You build. You start, meeting people. You start selling it, and you go ahead, and then you validate it over a period of time, and then धीरे धीरे जाके आपकी जो idea है उसको mass appeal मिलने लगती है. And that's when you start getting a mass appeal to the entire thing. And when you start getting a mass appeal, look what has happened. This is the scenario of the situation right now. Look at the scenario. If you look at the sectoral, there are very few companies which are in B2B. Very few companies which are in B2B, but most of the companies being in e-commerce. So if you look at sections like this, you'll see what are the businesses that they are doing into, what are the businesses that they are getting into. And, at the same time, if you see a star which is there, which is just besides this, you will observe that perhaps we didn't look at this post-COVID kind of a thing. The technology which is behind agriculture, technology for automotive innovation, software, analytics, deep learning technology, artificial intelligence, be the insightful, upcoming sectors which are going to be making a difference. So, and that is definitely going to be a lot of, lot of things. I
I'm
would just
sorry
want
to
to
interrupt.
Yeah. Omkar, you know what? I know the person who's doing this. I don't know if I should bring him on.
Just tell. No. Just tell the name.
Okay.
Yes,
okay,
bring,
because,
ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, seriously,
Seriously, ma'am.
So if he's not interested, he can ask. He can leave. So
Just if you know, please just tell the name.
Tell the name, ma'am.
yeah.
can
We'll
just
do that
unmute.
after the session. We'll do that after. It's going on very beautifully. I don't want to disturb it. Right.
Okay, ma'am.
So let's. Yeah. 1 second. Yes. Okay. Okay. 1 second. I have just was going through some chat box. Okay. I thought there would be some comments which would be there. Okay. No problem. All right. So let's look at 1 second. My PC is just, yes. Okay. So look at the sectors that you can get into, what you need to know as participants or from the fraternity who is looking at the post-COVID or maybe, okay, she's lying. Okay, perfect. So I'll tell him right away. I think it's very irresponsible, Omkar. Omkar, are you hearing?
Ma'am, there is I think a section where you can just unscribble or.
Yeah. I know. I'm trying to do that.
Okay.
1 second. 1 second. Just hold on. I think we are wasting our time doing this. Nevertheless, 1 second. Give me 2 minutes.
Okay.
I will leave you on a particular slide, which I would want you all to just read this. Read it for 5 minutes, and I come back to you. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Can you see the slide here?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So just see it
enlarge.
for 2 minutes. Yeah, enlarge it 1 second. Okay. Just see it for 2 minutes. Till the time I'll just. Yes. Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Let's look at where we were and just give me a minute. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we were at certain statistics and we were looking at certain B2B and B2C sectors here, and look at
Ma'am, you have been muted. Please unmute.
yes. Is this clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So let's look at this sector and let's look at a few more things. So this is just a few statistics here, but I wanted you all as participants here to know that look at what we as Indians can do, and this is going to be the future, especially post-COVID era. So the watch list that has been provided, this has been given by a very interesting, you can go to this website, which is www.inc42, and there's a lot of data which is available for everybody and anybody who wants to get into strategic management, identifying companies, what they're doing, startups, identifying startups, what they're doing, and all of it. The watch list for the next, from the year 2019 to 2022 is going to be this space that you see right now in front of you. So right from fintech technologies. So what is fintech? Technologies adopted by the financial organizations, technologies adopted by finance companies. So if you look at SaaS, software as a service. So a lot of companies work on certain softwares for their companies, especially insurance companies, when they want to give claims, when you have loan companies. You know, Pune has a very, I'm coming to that slide where Pune has a very, very popular company, and it is in the one of the top 7 companies of Asia in the fintech space, which is called as easyloan.com. So you get loans right from 25,000 rupees to 1 lakh rupees, and you know they have very, very interesting combinations of how they have, you know, got into the consumer space, completely B2C here. Media entertainment, you'll see how in the last couple of months media entertainment industry has changed the way we look at business. So right from Netflix and Amazon getting into our personal spaces, TVs is no longer a requirement. So you look at whether it is a media, whether it is gamification. So you as coders, or maybe you as software people, or if, like I said in the earlier slide, I also wanted to say this, but this chap, some disturbing guy, came across and changed the momentum. I wanted to say, when you say about skills, technology skills, this is the best time to invest your energies, invest your time to understand a few technologies, because that is going to be the call of the future right now. You have to understand this. So if somebody says, nahi, mujhe technology seekhni nahi hai, it wouldn't work like that, because you'll have to understand the nitty-gritties of the business. So if the entrepreneurial mantra for the next 21st century is going to be technology, and new industries are going to be formed, like education technology. You know what? Till the time when we were looking at educational technologies, there were a lot of people who were working in this space. Byju's was doing very well, but lockdown changed the scenario. Byju's clocked in a business of $230 million in the couple of months, and they are now a decathlon. Means what? They are clocking in a valuation of more than $10 billion. Education technology. Education space mein to khair, it is said that the e-learning space is the next big thing which is there. Health technologies. Practo abhi humne baat ki thi. Portio jo humne baat ki thi. Emergency medical vans. I'm also going to talk about the upcoming sectors which you need to look at. So this is just a watch list. You know, there is agritech.com. You know, there is the company which is called as agrostar.com. So people who are from the agricultural domain can look at such options where, you know, the middleman is completely taken off. And there is this company which is, it's a Pune-based company, again in the top 7 companies of startups of Asia. You know, Agrostar. So they are in agriculture technology, doing the same business, but yes, they're completely technological. Deep technology. So when you talk about deep technology, what does it mean? You are looking at augmented reality. You are looking at artificial intelligence. You are looking at simulators create who are going to help robots move their hand. So अगर आपने वो छोटा सा raw part बनाया तो you are going to be the only person in that space. Consumer services. So when I talk about consumer services, it is going to be purely e-commerce. Now, like when we talked about skill set, there was a third point which I wanted to talk about, and there's this fellow who disturbed us, So the third most important thing is you have to upgrade your selling skills. So don't, abhi selling hoga nahi, ma'am. There was a question which one of my students had called me specifically and asked, ma'am, abhi selling nahi hoga. So I wanted to tell him that no, beta selling to hoga bhai, selling क्यों नहीं होगा. But however, realistic goal ये है कि अभी selling थोड़ी सी अलग तरीके, वो अलग तरीका आपको कैसे समझ आएगी. आपको अलग तरीका digitally अगर आपको help करेगा तो it will help you. Of course consumer तो यही है, basic commodity needs तो बदलेंगी नहीं. So जो रोटी कपड़ा मकान है वो तो रहेगा ही ना. But there needs to be a intervention who will be an engaging guy. And right now, for the next 2 years at least, it's going to be at least for the next couple of years, if you want to excel as a company in your space, or even if you want to join a company and excel in that space, digital upgradation. So please, it's an earnest request to all the participants here that upgrade your skills. There is lot of like हम उसके exactly उस box pink box के ऊपर brown box है जहाँ पे education technology की बात करते हैं हम. Khan Academy है, Udemy है, Unacademy है. So there are so many companies offering you Coursera. In fact, Byju's during this entire lockdown period, Byju's gave their 30,000 ka jo unka, the premium feature was priced at a very different value proposition, simply because they said that this is the time when people really will think about my company very differently. So having said this, you need to understand that the next is also going to look at sustainability. So there are going to be options which are going to come across where, there are going to be electricity, there are going to be electric vehicles around. So there's a Pune based startup, which one of my very close ED mentors is, mentoring that company also, where, if you have heard about Geotronics, they are also our ED mentor, they are also our mentors with our institution. So his very close friend is working on the plug points. So he says electric vehicles banayenge to say plug point kahan hoga. So that plug point has to be very customized and it has to have a mass appeal. So wo plug point kahi bhi ho sakta hai. So why not get into that space to create those plug points? So wahan pe logon ki zarurat padegi. So don't be under the impression where this is only, just don't be under the impression that this is going to just finish and we are done. No, this is not going to be the situation. You need to look at these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These 10 things that you're seeing on the slide, there is a lot of intervention and grassroots level people ko zarurat hai banane ki. So whether it is the education technology, whether it is agri-tech, like AgroStar ne middlemen ko completely nikal diya and they're giving direct farmers, customized with the requirements from equipments to fertilizers to seeds and everything possible there. So you need to understand that these are the watch lists. In fact, taking it forward, like I just said, the Pune is what the world is looking at, in terms of startup. The NIE, which is the TIE chapter of Pune, which is technology, innovation and incubation, So the Pune, Mandar Joshi heads this. We are in talks for quite a couple of years now, and let's see if things work out this year, where they are doing a lot of good job. And look at, this is what the top 7 companies of Pune, and these are the very established ones, but you can do it grassroots level at the space that you belong to, at remote working place, remote locations in your districts, in your locations. And these are some extremely competitive who have created very high propositions for themselves. So whether it is Dhruva, the number 1 company, Pune based in terms of a startup, they are giving cloud solution, or whether I just mentioned Agritech, AgroStar, FinTech, LoanTap, they're giving you free EMI free loans they are giving you. And I was going through this website and they are such amazing, like banda sochega nahi ki acha ye combination se main 50,00,000 le sakta hu. So if it's my immediate requirement, so it's kind of a digital non-banking finance companies. So Loan Tap, and Sanjeev Agarwal is the founder of it. So they're doing some good work. Fasos has become बहुत अच्छा branding किया है. So these are some very popular that you see right now in Pune. And how to see all this is said and done. Now let's come to the things what you need to do as a participant here. That which space do you want to get into? This the slide that you see right now. I would want to also maybe put my opinion that you can't just do this in 1 minute. It took Microsoft, they say, when they wanted to create their business model interface, BMI jisko hum kehte hain, you will study that in your strategic management course. When they created the business model interface, it took them more than 4 years. Bill Gates and Paul Allen were looking at it, that how will kisko help karega, how do I do it, what do I do it, how do I interact. So look at this. This slide will be available to you. I'm sure your team, I will give this slide to Omkar and the entire RCDYPMS team, and they can take and circulate it to you all. So you need to understand that this particular model, how is it going to make a difference for your business, for your idea, for your innovation, for your novice element that you want to bring into the society, whatever that you would want to do. So these are some very important, and if you really want to do well and start your own company, you really want to do well and make a difference. A lot has been published about business models. Let me also put that honest opinion. So अगर आप बोलोगे कि मैडम मुझे theory पे जाना नहीं है, theory पे मत जाइए. आपको सिर्फ इस sheet के नीचे लिखना है कि आपको करना क्या है आपके idea के साथ. And let me tell you, it has been a very successful model, whether it was our very, whether our student doing very, very well right now. And, I can quote some very famous examples of students doing very well. So you have Deepak who started his startup Orange, and he's in Nagpur starting his space, whether it is Rohit Jagtar doing very well, and so there are a lot of companies and lot of startups which our college students have done, and they worked on this sheet. So if I'm okay with students who are saying, ma'am, itna kaam nahi karna hai, but mujhe karna kuch to hai. It doesn't work like that. You have to put it on pen and paper. Whom are you going to help? What are you going to do? In fact, I am just making it very simple for you. This is how it is for Uber. It's not a class right now. I'm not going to spend more time on it, but I want you to just understand this. So, what is important for Uber? So it has to be a reliable transport. What is important? It has to be convenient for the customer. What is important? There has to be some kind of an additional income which comes to the person who's actually driving that business. So it is kind of an affiliate where they create this. And let me tell you, it was created in complete shared gig economy where they don't own a single itinerary. They don't own anything. Airbnb, the number one, company in terms of valuation of the world. So whether it is Airbnb, they are not a tour operator website. They are tour guide website. So their value proposition changes. You have to do this and let it take some time. It's completely okay. But your business model canvas has to be very, very clear. And let it take some time. Ho jayega, but it has to be very clear. It has to have that appeal, and you need to understand कि आपका revenue कहाँ से आने वाला है, so that मेरे cost ठीक तरीके से चले. मैं किस तरीके से reach करने वाला हूँ customers को. What is going to be my channel? How I'm going to make my relationship? Is it going to be digital? Is it going to be some kind of a database kind of a thing? So so who is going to be my demography? Who's going to be my segment? Your audience who's going to be? So all of this put together creates your business model, and this is something for this is for you, Surabhi. So one of our students had just mentioned that, ma'am, I would want to, can you tell me something which I can do work from home? So something which I have couple of time after my office hours, can I do that? Yes. Look at these 20 things that you can do. They are just examples of great home businesses right now. Okay, so right from selling to Etsy, right from Amazon affiliate business. So this is on click. Okay, so you can go on each and everything and find more information on it. But let me tell you that if I tell you one by one, easily you can sell stuff on Etsy. Etsy is there in India, so you can find out and But why do you do that? Why don't you create your own? Start it with a small. In fact, at this, I'm going to, like a proper teacher, I'm going to ask you to do a small task here. If you have a paper and a pen, what I would want you to do, I would want you to do research on a small topic, which is called as drop shipping. Okay. So I want, if you have a paper and pen, kahi to ye likh lijiye, is pe aap research kijiye. And this is a great innovation that has happened by Shopify, jahan pe by rupees only 2000, you create your own website. By only putting rupees 2000, by mere rupees 2000, you create an e-commerce company if you want to scale it up. So of course, I'm giving you a topic for research. It's an inherent teacher quality. I cannot leave the class without an assignment. So this is something for you to work on. But nevertheless, these are few things that you can do. All of this is for you, dear. So please have a look at it. You can, in fact, eBay is also available in India. You create your stuff, you sell it on there, and if you're very good with social media, get in touch with a few people. Like I was in touch with one of the builder friends of ours, and he said, Shilpa, do you have anybody who's very good with social media? I was like, why? He said, I want somebody, just one pointer is okay, let him work from his home only, but can he just manage my entire digital marketing space? I said, पूरा digital marketing करना? He said, नहीं, सिर्फ social media पे जो आ रहा है, सिर्फ 2-3 चीज भी कर जाए, वो सिर्फ मेरा WhatsApp संभाले तो भी चलेगा, सिर्फ मेरा SMS जो मैंने जो लिया हुआ है, अगर वो संभाले तो चलेगा. So look at the evolving customer requirements. So if you are extremely good with writing skills, you suppose you're very good with writing skills, there are a lot of websites where you can join as freelancers, and there is a website which is called as guru.com, and you go, you upload, and you can do some amazing work there. Right from $25 to $500 is what you can earn, but yes, the demographic is different. Indian websites are available, but yes, the pricing is very different. The pricing is very low in terms of US markets, but you can explore. See, I have done research on each one of these 20 things that you see in front of you right now. And let me also share that a lot of things can come up simply by exploring every part of what you see on the slide here. So if you're good at writing, grant writers. If you're good at, like there was a very good idea which came up during the lockdown. I said, you have a lot of unemployed youth which is there, and they want cleaning services. So can you create a community of cleaning services, and can you create a team and do it localized, hyper local to your locality, and explore the space and see how it works, and then you can scale it up. Okay. So, and whether it is creating your own music session classes, is yoga happening online, and any specialized skill set which you feel can make a difference, all of it put together makes a lot of business ideas. These are some rocking ideas which you can explore in the post COVID era and also in the COVID era. Pickup and delivery services, lot of work has been done. Hyper local markets, in the markets across. So, you can create your website, you can create your app, and you create your own company, and you can have your pickup and delivery at the same time. Lot of companies are looking at logistic services. Supply chain and logistic is the next third best sector that you can look at. Second, online education app. Like I said, education technology is the game changer. So you would have a lot of learning management tools. So वो एक idea है, आप अपने आप के लिए explore कर सकते हो. Lot of students who started coaching are getting into this space. Grocery delivery, medicine delivery, healthcare consultations. Nobody wants to go to a doctor right now. So, a lot of healthcare. Can somebody just mute off, please? Whoever it is, unmuted. Omkar, can you please facilitate this?
Ma'am, it's done. You can continue.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
You can hear, right? Okay, good. So I wanted to spend some time on this. That is the reason. See, we are nearing 9:30 right now. So maybe a few slides more and we'll be done for the day. But I want you students, or not only students, who all participants who are there, I want you all to look at this 10 pointers, investments which you can look at, especially COVID era, post-COVID era. You can be as a facilitating aggregator for everything that you see on the slide right now. So right from food delivery, you can do that hyper local in your specific areas. If you are, the lot of restaurants who are doing this to catch on the changing taste bud scenario. You can't go to a hotel now, but the taste buds are still tickling. People still want to eat some good food. A lot of hostelites around. So is there a opportunity that you can clock on? Lot of fitness apps coming across, lot of wellness. Mental health has become a very big issue, which has been happening during the lockdown. Is there an on-demand doctor, nurses, caretakers for the old and the elderly? E-marketplace is, it's a boom time. It's a, right now online market is a sunrise industry, and we are contributing only 27%. There's a lot of big market which is still unexplored. So e-commerce is a next big thing. Payment gateways is the next big thing. And another which was a very important was online van booking for various activities. So which there was research which I was reading, and they said that even during this, there is a very big problem with medical van booking facility. Is there a facility which you can do this for hyper local in your area, in your city, except the ambulance part of it? Is there a fully equipped service that you can give as an entity to any of the patients which are there? Another very, very unexplored area was, especially during the COVID, was a team which was for the burial grounds. That is another very big area which is there. In fact, that area comes in social entrepreneurship, but definitely you can explore as an entity, as an entrepreneur, as a startup, because there are very few people in that space. Lot of people are also looking at spiritual well-being. So if you're looking at wellness apps, there have been lot of apps which are, there is a website which is called as pujathali.com. So you get an entire set of your entire requirement of whatever puja that you would want to do with a recording. So you just come, you open, unpack that, and you utilize that. You can create that. It takes 7,000 rupees to create an app. You go to, shop dressing, shop drop shipping. I want you to go to this website, and then you come back to me. I am available. My number is also there here, which you can look at. So my availability is anytime going to be there. So please give me a feedback, whether it is Facebook or whether it is anywhere else, through WhatsApp and things like that. Please give me a feedback of what you have understood by going through that. You create your own marketplace. And I don't want to spend more time on this, because I thought this was just to tell you what other lot of people, TikTok doing #1 in the whole world. Lot of things which are happening in terms of funding. This is for people who is at early stage, like, student community. So these are some 7 very popular methods which you can, do. Crowdfunding ho gaya, seed capital, super angel. So TIE in Pune does this second point. So they give you seed capital. You have microwave, and like, अगर आप स्टार्टअप इंडिया के वेबसाइट पे जाओगे, Capgemini is giving 5 lakh rupees and 250 lakh rupees depending on the idea, which is on Startup India. So they are working as business accelerator funding. Okay, so whatever said and done, what I'm trying to tell you is that the availability is there. It's never about funds. It's never about money. It's never about understanding what is it that you would want to explore. The fact is, whether you have a business idea which is going to scale up, whether you have something like Legit Puppet took 70 rupees to start the company. Legit Puppet took 70 rupees to set up a company. So don't think about the things that ma'am, मुझे पैसा दे दो तो मैं company उससे शुरू करूँ. So it doesn't work like that. You need to have a business idea. You can accelerate that idea. You can incubate that idea, and then once your business canvas is clear, once your way of doing the business is clear, you have way to go. You have a lot of things to explore. And what do the great leaders see? The great leaders see that in the 2020, like I said, those 7-8 sectors, this is going to be the next big sector. So this is just an addition to that earlier slide. where the software is going to be the new hardware of making a difference. So, and these 16 businesses, I would want Omkar, the slide is available to you all. Please do share it and definitely, have a look at it, because I would want you all to see this. This is going to be the next tomorrow. So hyper locality shops. So if you say hyper local specialty shops, you can do that through your website, taking care of the requirement of your area, of your specialized business, of your specialized identity. So in your hyper local activity. Another area which is very unexplored is the green technology and the green business. Lot of work which is there, and this ispe to pura I can go on and on, but just thought I will share some trends which are there and some statistics here. So when I say, the most famous, or rather the most popular methods, is the fact that transportation services are taken the maximum right now. So I say supply chain logistics and service delivery, pickup and delivery. So you aggregate, you become an aggregator in that space. All of it together is going to be the next game changer. Your asset sharing, you have to collaborate with people, you have to co-create with people. Don't go into the game alone, not required. You can find out people who are into your space, collaborate with them, do to create your own innovative business revenue, and then you can start up. Because you know why most of the startups, why do they fail? Because they think their idea is very good, they are very attached to that idea, but there's no market which is actually, there is no cash left with them because they have spent so much of overheads. They don't have the right people. So that is another very important thing. पैसा नहीं है यार, cost issues है. So having said all this, it is important that you need to understand that if you as a startup guy, if you as a, a business guy, if you as an entrepreneur, you as a person who wants to start up, man, मैं तो वो कहती हूँ कि at this point of time आपको शुरू करना है कुछ, तो उस space से अगर हम बात करें, तो you need to understand that you have to look at collaborative mechanisms right now. आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि मुझे करना क्या है, ट्रेंडिंग कौन से कम्युनिटीज है आज की डेट में, ट्रेंडिंग कौन से मार्केट्स है जिसपे सबसे ज्यादा बिजनेस हो रहा है. So of course travelers अभी थोड़ा सा we are looking at this. This was the 2019 wala slide, and I didn't get any other besides this, so looked at this. But there are now niche markets are being created. Remote working space अगर आपको create करने, तो उसके लिए क्या लगेगा? So gamers, so now OTT mediums are going so high, so it's become very individualistic, engaging experiences. So you need people who can scale up and create games. You are not talking to any capitalistic consumer now. People are getting really environmental conscious. So, and of course you have the LGBTQ community where they have specific requirements. So having said all this, so is there a difference? The internet users in India is at the NASCOM latest, abhi ka just latest wala 2020, April 2020 की बात कर रही हूँ, तो 750 million people are using internet. Having said that, imagine e-commerce is growing month to month at 8%, and sales on this is growing at 32%. Average percentage of sales at online stores are getting presence because of social media. So even if you want to close your eyes to it, the world is changing. You have to open your eyes. So you have to equip yourself for this. Few more data which is available. Mobile users till 2020 tak, look at it, 36% of people are going to use smartphones. 36%. It is a huge market. So if 36%, अगर 100 में से 36 people के पास mobile होने वाला है, तो can you do something with that mobile phone? Can that be an access to your businesses through that mobile phone? You have to explore that. You have to work around your business idea. You have to watch. A few other stories which I just thought, they are there, especially in the COVID era. So I really like this, where they said that there is a, COVID surveillance app. It's beyond the Arogya Setu. It's an individual app which has been created by Power Apps, and you can monitor the home quarantine people real time. कितने लोग अंदर है, कितने लोग बाहर है, officials कितने काम कर रहे हैं, utility वाले कितने काम कर रहे हैं. So it's only one time fee and things like that. Very nice app. You can put this COVID-19 surveillance app. बहुत ही बढ़िया है. And then of course there's another, COVID app again by creator Safe Vision. It's a AI based to monitor people in public places. So it's these two apps at least. ज़्यादा तो नहीं कहूँगी मैं. These two app at least I want you to T-Hub का है, आप download करके देखिए and you will see the kind of good job and the output that these apps have done, especially in COVID era, and they have been downloaded big time and they're doing very well as companies. So a few things what companies have done, and this is the government scenario to it, and that's it from my side. This slide is important. I don't want to spend more time on it because Omkar, do I have time? Because it's already 9:35.
No, ma'am. Actually, we are running out of the
I
time
know,
of
I
our
know. So I don't want to
agenda.
spend more time. Yeah, I know that. Nevertheless, it's okay. Yeah, it's completely fine. But just thought this is some important stuff which is there, which students can read it. This slide will be available to you, Omkar. Please send it to whoever have have registered, so that we have their
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
yeah. And that's it from my side. Thank you so much. If there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. And any feedback which is there, I'll be very happy. Yes, Omkar.
If there are any questions related, they can just
type in the chat box.
in
Absolutely.
chat box.
I'm just going through it only. So just yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Any questions?
Hi, ma'am. Retroactive
Yeah,
Abhishek has a question. He has typed
tell me.
in the chat box. You can see that.
What is the question? Wait, I have not
Yeah,
opened it.
yeah,
Tell me the question, dear.
yeah, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, you made your every point with research and stats as base. You can suggest sites or magazine where we could get the stuff of research and status.
Perfect. So, see, I'll tell you. Yeah, I just saw this. There is a website, ma'am, to look for emerging startups. So that is INC42. Is he there? Or you can maybe type it. Or you want me to type it? INC42 is the website, and you could get a lot of data on this. Okay, which is there, which I just mentioned to you about. That was about to, what would you suggest? Okay, I have a very nice question. What would you suggest for a startup that's about to fail? Don't give up, my dear. I'll tell you why. The day the Netflix were supposed to close down, in the year 2000, and they said they wanted to, because they felt that it's done and they were almost going to be insolvent. Don't give up. I know it takes time. I know it's very, very difficult times, especially in the COVID structure right now. Please don't give up. I'll tell you why don't give up. Because you never know when would be the time which you will unearth, and you'll actually feel good that you didn't give up. It's very easy to listen to such kind of a pep talk, but actually coming to it, on one by one, I would simply say one thing, that maybe you have to relook at from where you started off in terms of your strategies. So you relook at that. Maybe some good, bad, ugly. You will find out those 3 pointers, and there is a very good mechanism for this. It's called as the 3 green and a 3 red light. Model. I don't know if you're aware about it. Maybe my number, you can flash it. You can give me a call. It's called as the three green and a 3 red light. You have to identify 3 green opportunities which your business is offering. Okay, and there are 3 red lights which it's a part of the strategic management business canvas course, where you have 3 red lights. So if you observe that if your 3 greens are more than 2, and there is an equation to at least having 1 red, it is said that you can still carry on with your startup. So there is, you can put this as now. If I have that link, I can share it to you immediately. 1 second, just hold on. Or maybe I put it on the group. If you are there, if there is any WhatsApp group created on this, I'll share it with you. So
Yes. You can just give me the text. I will
Yeah,
share it
I will. Yes, you give
on
it to
the
them,
group created.
Mumtaz. Yes, yeah, definitely.
Okay, ma'am.
You, Darshan Rathi, INC 42. Perfect. Thanks, Darshan. Ma'am, can you brief about Yukti 2.5? See, Yukti 2.5. 1 second, huh? See, actually, it's a platform which has been given, and the HRD ministry had actually started it. And see, you have to understand one thing, that anything, especially when you're coming to higher education, there are a lot of technologies. This is actually for, the IIMs, and of course applicable to us also, where they help service industries get adapted to technologies. Okay, like simply putting it across, if I tell that, there's a website, if you can make a note of it, please make a note of it. Okay, it's called as Nishank. Yeah, it is www.yukti. Maybe somebody can just type it here, it will directly link you there. It's a part of the innovation cell, which is done by the HRD ministry. So anybody from higher education, जैसे अपने MBA बच्चे हो गए, उनको अपनी idea को scale up करना है, and they want a technological help for that. So you can tell that, look, I have an idea, मेरे पास दिमाग में मेरे पास idea है, but मेरे पास कोई technological support नहीं है. So such kind of initiatives, they will get you linked through networking channels. They'll give you platforms for your businesses, and they'll also help you with people who can bridge up that idea what you have in your mind technologically. So yeah, that is Yukti 2.0. Yes.
Okay.
So
I
basically,
think
there's any other question? Ma'am, can we
no,
get
ma'am.
funding for our startup from CSR sector of? यार जब आपने CSR कर दिया तो उसको startup नहीं कहलाएंगे ना? Abhishek dear, from some retired Abhishek. Ma'am, can we get funding for our startup from CSR sector of big MNCs? See, yes. Let me. That's a very good point, which Abhishek you have raised. Lot of companies have started, like you have companies like Xerox, there are companies like Capgemini, there's companies like Wipro. They have started an innovation cell in itself. So they encourage people, especially their employees, and what they do is that if they have come across some projects which they feel are very very innovative, so they are ready to fund it, and they work, and there's a lot of scope in this particular area, and there's a lot of work which which is then been done in this. So yes, I completely. If can you get funding for your startup through CSR? I really don't know, because I don't know your proposal. I don't know anything of it, so I can't comment on it. But yes, the option is definitely there. Ma'am, in such time where everything is uncertain, is it good if anyone wants to leave a job and start there? There is a question from Lukesh. Yeah, hi Lukesh. You always had this in your mind. You always wanted to start something. I know that. Just hang on, be resilient. You have to first create your minimum viability product. But the MVP create karna bahut important hai. Means what? You don't have to leave the job. See, what happens with our youth is that they want to leave everything and start running behind something which they have in their mind. It shouldn't be like that. You know what it should be? It should be a very calculative step that you need to take, where you create your minimum viability product. So when I say minimum viability product, मतलब क्या? आपके business canvas में आपको छोटा सा आपके छोटे से project के लिए, maybe do it only in your neighborhood, maybe do it only in your locality. See if it runs. If it doesn't run, then scale it up. Okay, मेरा locality नहीं, let me look at it some more. So whatever business idea that you have, you first need to try it. And when you say you need to try it, इस फेज को हम कहते हैं मिनिमम वायबिलिटी प्रोडक्ट. कस्टमर से बात करनी पड़ेगी, आपको फीडबैक लेना पड़ेगा कि सर मैंने ऐसा कुछ सोचा है, आपको क्या लगता है. I'm going to price it like this. आपको क्या लगता है ये मेरे डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर रहने वाला है तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर से बात करनी पड़ेगी आपको स्केल अप करने के लिए सर मेरा ये प्राइसिंग रहने वाला है आपको क्या लगता है these kind of feedbacks that you're going to receive from so many people and so many entities is going to make a difference to you. So don't just get up and say that no I want to leave the job and start something on my own. It is good but it has to be counterintuitive. मतलब क्या calculated लेना चाहिए लोकेश जी. Just don't jump into it. आपकी सबसे पहले step 1 that I would recommend is in this lockdown create your MVP, create your minimum viability product. Do it, try testing it in your ground. मतलब आपके locality में, आपके area में, आपकी city में, आपके जो भी छोटा सा आपका space है वहाँ पे देखो. And then you get a response. It is said, goal setting में कि first 3 months में आपको try करना चाहिए. Suppose आपने ये सोच के रखा है कि मुझे महीने का मेरा इस project से 5,000 निकलना चाहिए. So 5,000 करने के लिए reverse engineering करने के लिए मुझे क्या projects करने पड़ेंगे कि मुझे 5,000 निकले. तो अगर ये first 3 months में नहीं आता, you need to switch on, move on and get into something new. So this would be my start. Is it easy for a startup to file for an IPO to raise funding? Easy for a startup? Yes. I wouldn't say that to file for an IPO, they would want to look at startups would want to look at only IPO as a funding. There are so many levels of funding, rounds of funding that IPO would possibly be the one of the last resorts they would want to get into. So saying it that whether it is going to be easy for a startup to do that, yes, government is made it now fair enough. Their window is now made into 60 to 90 days. So पहले से जो clearances के लिए जो बहुत time लगता था अभी yes definitely कम हो गया है. Yes, Tanmay. Any other session? Okay, thank you so much. Can we? Okay, there will be the last question. We're running short of time. Yes, Somkar.
Yeah, ma'am. The rest of the question can be solved in personal. I think we should start because we are running a bit short of time now.
I know it's already 9:30.
Yeah.
See, what happens is, yeah, tell me.
No, it's okay, ma'am. But I think the next there are few events.
I know, lined up.
10 to 15 minutes.
No problem at all. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I would like Rotractor Mamta to take over from here.
Thank you, ma'am. Oh, ma'am, we sincerely apologize for the interruption happened between the session. Please accept our apology and we'll make sure this won't happen next time. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful session, regardless of the interruption. It was really knowledgeable. And thank you for making us understand the startup culture and giving us rocking business ideas. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll definitely work on it. So now we will.
Thank you, Mamta.
Welcome, ma'am. So now we will move forward with the CSD event. Now I'll request Retractor Gaurav Pagare to take over from you. Or we should go directly with the secretarial announcement?
Yes, because there is a bit time concern. We can go directly to the secretarial announcement. Secretary Rotractor Avis, you may continue.
Just a second, Omkar. I'll just inform this to all the host president that we will take the CSG event tomorrow for 10-15 minutes because it's too late right now. So we'll directly go for the secretarial announcement.
Okay, so I request Retractor Avis, the secretary of RCDYPMS, for the secretarial announcement.
Thank you, Retractor Mamta. I feel extremely proud to announce the finance director of RCDYPMS, Retractor Shubham Gowde, and the flagship event of our club, that is Sahyog 1.0. I would like to announce Retractor Sushant Fapre as the chairperson of the project and Retractor Rohit Tahade as the project coordinator. All the best, guys. Moving forward, I would like to announce biggest CSD event of RIY 2021, PUBG Mobile MET League 1.2. Registration starts from tomorrow onwards. And for more details, visit our Instagram and Facebook page. Now, the forum is open for announcement.
I think we should continue with the rest.
Thank you, Retractor Avis. Now, I'd like to call Retractor Sushant for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Rotractor Mamta. What an amazing insight Dr. Shilpa ma'am gave to all of us on the entrepreneurship skill development. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable presence and precious time you gave to us speaking about all the important aspects of entrepreneurship. I'm very much sure that all our participants gained some valuable knowledge and amazing ideas from this session. So thank you very much. I would also like to thank Dr. Ashutosh Misal sir, Director DYPMS, and Dr. Nandini Desai ma'am, faculty divine PMS, for their valuable presence. Moving forward, I would like to thank all the collaborating clubs for their response. We were very glad with your response and expect many more such collaborating events with you all. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to thank all our board of directors for creating such a learning opportunity platform for all the participants through their endless efforts. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the participants club members for the keen and patient listening. Without you, the session will not have been succeeded. Thank you very much, all of you. Over to you, Rotractor Mamta.
Hello. Hello guys, as it's too late, so the link for the quiz will be sent directly on the WhatsApp group. So please do attend the quiz, and after the quiz is complete, the certificates will be provided to you. Thank you so much.
Meeting adjourned. I request everyone to please fill up the quiz for the certificates. The link will be shared on the WhatsApp group also and in the chat box also right now. Please today 100 certificates will be generated and will be given to you, and the rest of the certificates will you'll get till tomorrow. Thank you.